Richard joins us in the studio, the general manager at stpud, and tell him the acronym so people.
Yes, it's stupid, but it's South Tahoe Public Utility District.
Yeah.
And locals call us stupid because it's an easy way to remember us. It's affectionate, we think.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you guys feel that way, because I remember when I've said this before, when I first moved to town and people referred to it that way.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, wow, why are you guys? And people are, no, it isn't bad. It's just what the acronym turns out to be, and that way people remember it.
Yes. Yeah.
So, so we just had a board meeting, and then we just had an election. So all of that kind of tying together with people getting to vote on this proposition. So kind of go back a little bit, tell us about the proposition, and then what came out of the board meeting and what ultimately happened.
Okay, so there was a minimum 45-day process, Proposition 218. People get to vote, register a no vote if they think the proposed rate increase at the district is too high. It was 6.5% on water and 6% on sewer. We only received about 300 no votes on water and 340 votes on sewer. That was reported to the board. So last week, based upon that, that's only about 2% of the objection rate. The board voted in the 6.5% and 6% rate increase. For 1 year.
So by voting, you're voting no. By not voting, the way the law works is it's the same as going go ahead and do it.
Exactly.
So what percentage of people voted on this?
Well, 2%.
2%.
Yes, because if you object to the increase, you send in your form that says I object. If you're in favor or you don't care, you don't have to do anything. You don't do anything.
So by doing nothing, it's actually like casting a vote the way the law reads.
Yes.
So what does it get us? Okay, so we're going to increase our rates.
Yes.
And for anybody who gets upset about that but didn't vote, forget about it, right? Like, I mean, that was your chance, right?
Yeah, well, and we will be having the same public outreach next year. We'll be asking, we want to report to people on what we're spending the money on. Like, I've already signed the loan papers, the $20 million loan papers that the rate increase on the water side is paying for.
Who do you borrow $20 million from?
The state of California.
Oh, geez.
They offered us a zero-interest 30-year loan. And so in 5 years, we'll be fully metered.
Good God.
And then on next week's board meeting, because of the sewer rate increase, we already have on there a contract, a $300,000 contract to hire an outside consulting firm with mechanical and electrical engineers to design an upgrade to our big Luther Pass pump station, our export pump station that's 50 years old.
And what's that doing, pumping it up and over Luther, out of town?
Yes.
To where?
To Alpine County, where we have a storage reservoir out in Diamond Valley, and all summer we irrigate a couple thousand acres of pastureland with our recycled effluent.
Ah, that's cool.
Yes.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So are there any more votes coming up aside from the one you just mentioned for, I guess, about a year from now?
No, if the board wants to stay within the 6.5% and 6% rate increase, there wouldn't be a vote, but we will be going out to service clubs and making appearances on local TV, talking about what we've done with the money, and we will still take public input. People can email us questions, come to our meetings, stand up, voice their opinion, and the board does listen to that. We had as many people stand up at meetings in support of the rate increase as opposed when we've had public meetings literally every month for the last 6 months.
And I'm just curious, because I mean, I'm from a standpoint always just thinking like less increases, spend less money, whatever. What's the perspective of that person that stood up and said, I want an increase in my utilities? What were they looking to get out of it?
Well, about 10% of our homes don't have large enough water lines on their street to install fire hydrants. A lot of people thought it was unfair that 2/3 of our residential customers were still unmetered. A third were metered. On the sewer side, we had pump stations that were built in the 1960s that needed their electrical and mechanical systems upgraded for reliability.
Those things you talked about,
yeah. And so people were saying, we want the lake protected, we want meters for everybody, we want fire hydrants for everybody.
And we know that it costs money.
It costs money.
$20 million over how many years with no interest?
It's a 30-year loan, zero interest. But it's $20 million. But we'll finish the deal in 5 years.
Good job on that deal.
Yeah.
Holy cow, that's great. Well, Richard, come back in and let us know what's going on, where the money's being spent.
Okay.
And this has been good.
Love to come back
for the whole community to see what's going on and give them a chance to vote. So
keep
up the good work.
All right, thank you.
Take a quick break and be back with the next half hour of Tahoe Today. Stay with.
Enjoy a